Well, I'm back. We had power knocked out out of our Avenida studios in downtown right as that northeast side of the eye wall was passing through downtown. Again, something that you don't see often. In fact, the last time we saw this was 16 years ago. So we lost power back, excuse me, right around 9 o'clock. And we just restored it. We were able to get our computers back up and running, and so I'm able to bring you another update on the hurricane that now dropped down to a tropical storm. But look at these sustained winds still out of Bush Intercontinental Airport, 40 miles an hour. That means steady wind streams still coming in with Beryl, even though it has dropped in intensity. The wind gust right now, Bush Intercontinental Airport, 67, about 10 minutes ago was at 82. So 60, 70, 80 mile an hour wind gusts still being churned out with Beryl, which just barely under hurricane criteria. So as of the 11 o'clock advisory, it has 70 mile an hour wind speeds. Remember, category 1 is 74. So it's just barely lost that hurricane title, and it continues to bring us hurricane force winds and tropical storm winds throughout the next few hours. So we're sitting at 11:01 right now. I think by 1 o'clock, we're going to start to see improvements. But until then, we're still dealing with these flooding downpours and the wind that's causing widespread damage across southeast Texas. I mean, no stone unturned, no area unscathed because of the landfall of Beryl. So because it landed just in Matagorda, so in our westernmost portion of the viewing area, the dirty side of the hurricane encompassed all of us. And you'll notice the dirty side is still producing severe components like tornado warnings. This is out of our viewing area. However, we're still keeping a close eye on those outer bands for the threat of tornadoes and certainly for the threat of these very, very strong winds. So taking a closer look at Harris County, the spots that are seeing the most significant impacts right now with these deep reds, this is going to be along 5969. So from Spring pushing into Huffman, Dogwood Acres, Roman Forest. If you live along this swath from Shepherd to Cleveland, you're feeling what we felt about an hour ago here in downtown, which was the brunt of Beryl, the outer wall band from Beryl and the strongest impacts. We're going to take it out live to our Katira Winfrey, who is in Katy, and looking at the radar right now, you're seeing a nice break. So it looks like you maybe have some light rain, Katira. Maybe you have some lighter wind, but the strong stuff right now is directly down the Katy Freeway closer to Cloverleaf. So pushing along the east side of the I-10 corridor. Can you give me an update as to what you're feeling right there in Katy?
Kim, I want to say in the last just 2 minutes, the rain started coming down heavy and strong just again. It was just the wind maybe half an hour ago, but now it's starting to come down with the rain and the wind. Again, we are here at the Buc-ee's, and people have been taking advantage of the calm that we did see for the last couple of hours, but now you can see people have been coming out of the doors, rushing to their cars. But they got a long break from this rain and this wind, but it's starting to come down now. Not too long ago, I saw two, I believe, electrical or you know, those trucks that go and restore the power. I couldn't tell which company, but I just saw two of them pass through the parking lot. And I've talked to a couple of customers around here who have lost power, and that's why they've come by this Buc-ee's to try to get their hands on some essential items. And other people just coming in, I guess, hopefully get out into this storm or try to take advantage of the calm. But it is definitely starting to come down yet again. A lot of cars in this parking lot, a lot of cars on the road around this area. And I know Jen has been monitoring traffic conditions and road conditions, so I don't know how much longer these streets will be calm with this new bout of rain hitting the Katy area. Jen?
Right. Well, luckily, Katira, I am seeing that most of the city is up from the heart of where everything was being pummeled. Right now, don't let your guard down. Roman Forest, Atascocita, you're receiving some very heavy rain showers. And the northeast, you can still see from Eastgate, Dogwood Dogwood Acres, all the way to the Conroe Panorama Village area. 45, 59, and parts of 99 are still on the dangerous side as far as hitting the roadways. Here in town, we still have 288 flooded at 610 and many other high water spots. So even if you don't hear the rain at your house, you need to hold off driving. Give it another hour and a half, 2 hours. I had some friends saying, hey, there's some water in my bay house. I mean, the water's already there. What are you gonna do? Like, don't hit the roadways. You're just gonna mess up your vehicle, or it's gonna take you a very long time to get there. I also heard from another friend of mine that she had a little bit of water in her interior of the house. That was the southwest part of town. I'm not sure if that was from above, like a roof leak, or coming up from the ground level, but did wanna send that information off your way, because it's not gonna be surprising that we see folks having to deal with down fences, is what I've heard, debris on the roadway. So we'll want to be on the lookout for that. That is your latest look at traffic for now.
Yeah, Jen, it is extensive. You know what, you're right. A lot of people have been sending us images of downed trees in front of their house, debris all across their neighborhood. So it is going to be days of cleanup, you know, and really not talking about the power outages right now. I know we've got to get through this first, though. Tropical Storm Beryl, we have the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. This did come out at 11 a.m. It's 11:06. No significant changes since 10 o'clock. Okay, max sustained winds at 70 miles per hour. So again, it is a tropical storm, but a strong tropical storm at that. Remember, if this said 74, we would still have a Category 1 hurricane. So that's why our peak wind gusts could still be between tropical storm force to hurricane force winds well inland. Notice the eye moving north of the city, and that's going to continue in a northeast direction. Now, through 7 o'clock this evening, the outermost feeder bands could produce rain. It's going to become a lot more intermittent. I'm not expecting as severe impacts for the immediate coastal areas first, and then notice where the energy is driving, though. It's all north. Notice these tropical rain bands producing very heavy, still torrential rain in portions of northern Harris to Montgomery County. These are different areas than what we were tracking early this morning. So the active flash flood warning that's in effect is in effect through 1 o'clock and includes Chambers, Harris, Liberty, Montgomery County. But notice how this has shifted north. They did take the flash flood warning from Matagorda and Brazoria County out. They lifted that warning. So that was nice to see. I'm taking our radar loop over the last 6 hours. Why? I want you to see the movement and the progression of Beryl. So Beryl made landfall at 3:55 this morning, just before 4 a.m. as a Category 1 hurricane. Continued to wobble kind of back and forth, what that eye did from Wharton into Fort Bend County. Notice that wobble there. That is what pulled all this deep tropical moisture in along areas east from Galveston and into Chambers County. Then that eye crossed near Katy towards the western portion there of Harris County. And now notice where it's centered. It's on the northeast side of Harris. I'm stopping our radar so you can clearly see. Here's the eye wall of Tropical Storm Beryl. It's basically centered right over Cypress along 290. I mean, we still have a tropical storm basically draped across the entire area. Where's the heaviest rain? It's across northeast Harris County, extending now into Montgomery County and portions of Liberty County. So a couple things to note, guys. We are very much still in this over the next couple of hours. Beryl is moving. It is not stalling out, but we are still tracking torrential rain. So still a lot to monitor with Beryl. I'll send it back to you.
Let's get to the mayor now. We understand Mayor Whitmire is ready to talk.
We're experiencing right now the dirty side of a dirty hurricane. Beryl has certainly taken its path, its eye across West Houston, and most of the city is experiencing the dirty side of a very serious hurricane. As I said yesterday when I was asking everyone to be prepared, look out for everyone, that when they went to bed last night, they would wake up to a different environment, a different set of circumstances and weather this morning. Certainly that was an accurate statement. When I turned in at 2 this morning, after riding the streets of Houston with the police chief at 2 o'clock, it had not arrived. And certainly this morning at 6, a new set of weather conditions arrived during the night. Very serious amount of water, in excess of 10 inches across most of our city, approaching 90 miles per hour winds, hurricane conditions. But we prepared for this. We had the department directors with us yesterday when I spoke to the public. Everyone was pre-positioning its resources. And of course, one of our major concerns is always energy, electricity. We have over 2 million in our region without power, over 700,000 Houstonians. What I want to emphasize in this briefing is, please, Houstonians, anyone that can hear my voice, shelter in place. Shelter in place. We're in an emergency. We're in a rescue mode, life safety. We're literally getting calls across Houston right now asking for first responders to come rescue individuals in desperate life safety conditions. We've been in the control room monitoring Houston fire, saving a life on 288 in Holly Hall, literally saving a person's life. We have fires that we're addressing. So shelter in place. We've had individuals show up at the LBJ hospital, residents in the lobby, seeking out safety. We're doing everything we can. These department heads, the first responders. Our airports are not operating right now, but doing everything they can to get operations back. Now, where do we stand? We're in a rescue mode as I speak to you. The National Weather Service says in about 45 minutes to an hour, it should start improving. So we will do an assessment. We will be opening up centers. The Red Cross is in contact with us. We had locations identified, but now we've got to do an assessment. Most of the city multi-service centers, even the George Brown, are without power. We're locating situations where the generators have not been able to function. We know that we have a lot of infrastructure challenges in this city. The bayous, most of them I could name are out of their banks. Certainly White Oak is creating some life-threatening conditions along Heights Boulevard. White Oak is far-reaching as Houston Avenue. Brays Bayou is out of its bank. White Oak. We're actually monitoring Greens Bayou on the northeast side. Our friends in the county, Cypress Creek and others, we're monitoring the San Jacinto River. So all I want to do is urge everyone, I plead with you to shelter in place. Do not put our first responders in further danger. Our first responders are making calls, over 400 911 calls in the last hour. They will likely increase. We are doing everything we possibly can. Stay off the roads. There is debris. I traveled from my home early this morning. The mayor was barely able to get to the emergency center. That's how dangerous our streets. Our traffic lights are out throughout the city. So let me just say I'm going to get some real-time reports from these outstanding department directors, our first responders. But my message to the public is shelter in place, stay off the roads, take care of your loved ones, your neighbors, your pets. Bark. Without power, generator did not kick on. We have a lot to do when we assess things in future days. But right now, it's life safety. All we need to worry about right now is protecting lives. We've been in contact with the county judge. We've been in contact with the state government, and the White House has reached out to us offering assistance. So it's all hands on deck. We literally almost didn't have time for this press conference because we're so busy taking incoming calls for rescue, for public assistance. So all I can say is we've prepared for this moment. We're doing everything we can. In the coming days, we will restore all the resources, the power. Our multi-service centers will be prepared. We hope CenterPoint will continue to do their outstanding job. They're bringing in thousands of additional assistance, line personnel, vegetation personnel. Clearing our streets and lines and getting the power back on is one of our highest priorities. I do not have power. We're all living this together. We're all in this together. Collaboration with every level of government, with every social agency, with the faith community, and with these outstanding first responders. I'm going to ask our fire chief to come give us a real-time report of his operations and what we can do going forward. Chief Pena.
Thank you, Mayor. I think, well, the mayor nailed it. I don't know, he summarized essentially what we want to communicate to our residents and to our community is stay home, protect yourselves, protect your families. We're in the middle of this. It's going to keep raining. We're going to continue to see street level flooding. But I'm going to report really quickly on our response posture, our focus, our service demand, and our resource status for this operational period. As the mayor mentioned, our focus right now is life safety. The life safety posture is what we're focusing on right now, and we're going to continue this until this storm passes, and then we're going to move into the recovery and consequence management. But for right now, our resources are committed to emergency response. The service demand, we've had one fire fatality that happened early this morning at a house fire in the southeast part of our city. The high water rescue call types and the live wires, the down wires, are our primary service demand. The streets are flooded. We saw video earlier of a fire crew evacuating and rescuing an individual that got stuck in a high water situation. If everybody could see that video, you see how resource intensive those call types are. We cannot continue to service every call type that same way. So we ask that you do the responsible thing. If you don't need to be on the street, stay off the street. If you are on the street, do not drive over flooded roadways. It doesn't take much for your car to be, the electrical system to be overcome, and you're dead in the water essentially. So please be cautious, heed the warnings, stay off the flooded roadways. What we're anticipating is widespread power outages. We're seeing that now. Those will continue. If you're going to use your generators, please do so responsibly. Keep those away from your home. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a real concern following these types of storms. Use the 911 system for emergencies only. If you need to report any other service need, 311 or 211 is the appropriate way to do so. Reserve 911 for true emergencies. And again, stay off the streets. Stay off the streets because there is a lot of risk. High winds are still in the area. Street level flooding. The mayor mentioned about the condition of the bayous. If those overflow, we're going to see some structural flooding that will require our response as well. So please do the responsible thing. Don't expose yourself, your family, and first responders to the additional risk. Look out for yourself and look out for each other. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Judge Pena. The real clear statement is help us help you. By staying in place, sheltering in place, you will assist the community because we need our resources addressing the most severe situations. With that comment, I want to recognize Chief Harden to give us an HPD status report.
Thank you, Mayor. I cannot reiterate enough what the Mayor and Chief Pena have said. As this weather passes, which hopefully it will in the next hour or two, and we begin to or continue to respond to these rescue calls, please help us be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Stay home. Stay home so that we can utilize our resources to help the people who really need it right now. For HPD resources, we have our high water trucks that have been here all night along with our fire partners and Public Works. We so far have made 15 high water rescue calls, rescuing 8 individuals. Our trucks are out and about, coming upon people who don't even have cell service, so they have not been able to call, as well as responding to calls for service. We're co-located with our fire and public works partners, as well as our other partners in the OEM and our EOC, and doing everything we can to respond as quickly as possible. Every single time we have an event like this where we have power outages, you always have a select few of our population that try to take advantage of the situation. Well, let me tell you that we are putting the full weight and force of the Houston Police Department behind helping the citizens of Houston. That includes staffing people and officers that you cannot see at places without power. So we will be in and about our community, both in our high water vehicles, our marked police cars, and our unmarked cars that you cannot see. So please, stay home. stay home so we can help the people that need it most. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief. The emergency center where we're located right now is the nerve center of the city during emergencies. We've been here all night. They've been preparing the last 48 hours. They're the best professional emergency response team in the country. We've done this before, and quite frankly, we're in the middle of an emergency and all hands on deck right here. I would ask our director, Tom Munoz, to come give us a status report and how the public can assist the emergency center going forward. Mr. Munoz.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to reiterate what my colleagues behind me, the mayor, have said. Life safety, that is at the stage we're at right now. Again, want to emphasize the message. Stay off the road, stay at home, shelter in place. We're currently at level 1 now. We're working with state and local and federal officials to ensure the safety of everyone. What we are doing is identifying those vulnerable areas. Assisted living homes, nursing homes. We have already those identified. We'll be monitoring that situation very closely to ensure that people are safe, and again, that the rest of the city, the residents are safe as well. We are going to be working diligently throughout the day and the night till this is over. But one thing that I want all Houstonians to know is that we are working together, have been working for the last 4 days to ensure everyone's safety. Mitigation plans are already set in place. The other thing that we're going to go after, we want people to understand that we are going to be in the recovery phase after the life safety, as Chief Pena had mentioned. So we are paying attention, we're monitoring closely, and again, want to emphasize, stay off the roads, shelter in place. We have the whole city already under the watch. We are paying attention. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I don't mind being redundant at this point. Shelter in place, stay off the roads, call 911. Our first responders are responding, fire, police, public works. Randy, why don't you come up and let us know the status of your public works? Our water supply is safe. Our water pressure is strong. Wastewater as well, backed up by generators. So we're monitoring our water supply, and I'm going to let our director give us a real-time report on public works.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, in the interest of redundancy, I can't emphasize enough how important it is to stay off the roads. As the mayor mentioned, the water supply is good. It is safe. We're doing well there right now, although we are still faced there with the same power challenges that everyone across the city is faced with. Most of our facilities are using backup generator power to accomplish that. We continue to monitor things, though, to ensure that we stay above all of the necessary thresholds from a regulatory standpoint. We are well above those thresholds at this point, so our drinking water supply, our wastewater is all operating within the regulatory parameters. As far as our streets are concerned, it's important for everyone to remember the primary drainage mechanism throughout this city is our streets. For better or worse, that is the reality of the situation. And so while we see our streets fill up with water, a lot of that is by design so that it can be conveyed out to the appropriate outfalls and drainage channels that are necessary. When we have an event like this, our streets are going to naturally drain slower than we are used to. And so we ask people to be very patient as they do that, and that's why we'd like you to stay home as long as you possibly can to allow the streets for time to clear. Once they clear of the water, we're going to find other hazards that are going to be there. And so once the storm passes and it's safe for our crews to be able to do so in conjunction with fire and police, we'll be out on the streets. We'll be out there with saw crews clearing debris. We'll be making sure that everything is operational from the right-of-way. You can help us by reporting power outages at traffic lights and intersections that you see, whether it's flashing or the intersection is dark itself. Report that to 311. That helps us make sure that we can get the appropriate priorities there. We'll be working with our partners, of course, at TxDOT like we did just a few weeks ago to help restore power to the intersections as quickly as we possibly can. Beware of live wires that may have come down as a result of some of the debris that we find in the city. But most importantly, stay safe, stay off the roads as long as you possibly can.
Thank you, Randy. And after we transition from life safety and rescue, we'll do an assessment. We will see where our multi-service centers can open to assist residents. And then we will also be working with the faith community and our social services. What I want to emphasize to everyone is collaboration. We're in this together. If we're united, we look out for each other, we're going to come out of this as safe and sound as humanly possible. We literally have rescues going on as I speak to you right now. First responders are putting their lives at risk, but that's what they're trained for. It's working, but if everyone will help us, help them. Look out for the most vulnerable. We've identified nursing homes, independent living. If you have additional information, certainly call non-emergency calls to 311, emergencies 911. And here's something I know it's very difficult to express, but we have to have patience in these situations. We have to prioritize our rescues and our first responders. So we're there. We're going to be here all day. We'll do an update mid-afternoon. We'll be here all night long, and we will not rest until every Houstonian, every community is served by the first responders, health, public works, and every service that a great city provides. With that said, I'll be glad to answer any questions. We're just about there. Certainly to our Spanish-speaking residents, I would ask Chief Pena to come give a status report in Spanish.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bueno, mire, les vamos a dar un reporte en español de lo que ha ocurrido hasta este momento. Hemos visto que la tormenta es grave, es seria, y ha causado bastantes apagones en varias áreas de la ciudad. También hay casos de inundación en la ciudad. Y lo que el alcalde Whitmire y todos los compañeros que están aquí detrás de mí, lo que estamos recomendando y lo que pedimos a nuestro público es que se mantengan en casa si no tienen que estar en las carreteras. Está muy peligroso el viento, hay muchos riesgos, hay mucho escombro, están las calles inundadas y hay bastantes líneas de electricidad que están abajo en las calles. Es muy peligroso estar fuera ahorita. El alcalde, lo que él le pide al público y es que no se expongan a esos riesgos, no expongan a los socorristas que tienen que salir a los rescates a esos riesgos. Si no tienen que estar en las calles, que se mantengan en casa, es lo más seguro. El alcalde también menciona que después de que pase esta tormenta, después de los rescates, entonces nos movemos a una posición de recuperación. Vamos a estar evaluando los daños que han ocurrido en la ciudad. Vamos a evaluar las partes donde están los más vulnerables, ¿sí? Y para asegurarnos que todos estén recibiendo el servicio que la ciudad pueda ofrecer. Pero por lo pronto, los riesgos siguen en pie, en marcha. La tormenta todavía está sobre nosotros. Los bayous pueden ser que se desborden y que haya inundaciones en las casas. Así es que lo mejor que pueden hacer uno es ayudarse uno mismo, mantenerse en casa, no se exponga a los riesgos y no expongan a los socorristas a esos mismos riesgos. El Departamento de Policía, el jefe Harden, ha dicho que tienen unidades uniformadas y sin uniforme, sí, para que estén evaluando la seguridad de esta comunidad. Si hay negocios, les recomiendan que no hagan algo ilegal, sí, que entren a esos negocios, que estén cerrados, porque hay policías, hay elementos de policías que están vigilando y protegiendo esta ciudad, aunque no estén uniformados. El director, Tom Muñoz, ha dicho que este centro va a estar abierto durante todo el tiempo que esté la tormenta activa y días después para ayudar en la recuperación de estos daños. Así es que con eso le voy a pasar al alcalde otra vez, pero si hay cuestiones en español. Sí. Mire, el Departamento de Bomberos ha tenido 49 rescates esta mañana de evacuación de agua alta. Hemos tenido más de 150 llamadas de líneas de electricidad que han caído, que están en las calles. Y como vieron un video esta mañana, hubo un rescate de una persona que se quedó en una troca inundada, una calle inundada. Los recursos que se requieren para responder a estas llamadas son bastantes. No se expongan a esos riesgos. Se exponen ustedes y también a las personas de primeros auxilios, ¿sí? Y lo mejor es que no se pongan en esos riesgos. ¿No? Sí, desafortunadamente tuvimos una fatalidad esta mañana. Ocurrió en un incendio de una casa más o menos a las 5:30 de la mañana. No estamos seguros si fue a causa de la tormenta o fue un problema eléctrico o un accidente. Eso todavía se está evaluando y tendremos más información después. Absolutely. So what I mentioned is that we unfortunately had a fire fatality early this morning. It happened around 5:30 this morning. We still don't know if it was as a result of the storm or if it was an electrical issue or accidental. But our arson division is out there investigating, and we'll have more information as soon as that cause and origin is determined. Anything else? Mayor? Yes, sir.
Thank you. We'll have another briefing about mid-afternoon. At that time, we'll have a status report concerning city employees and city services going forward through tomorrow. We're going to do an assessment as soon as we can hit, but at this point, we're doing everything we can. We ask the public for their cooperation. Concerns me, life and safety of every resident and everyone in our surrounding communities. Look out for each other. Allow us to help you by you staying sheltered in place. Stay off the roads. Our traffic lights are damaged. It's going to take hours, if not days, to get them back operational. You can't go through an intersection full speed. You have to stop when there's no lights. Traveling here early this morning, we saw in Shepherd people speeding through 34th Street, 43rd Street. Unacceptable. Stay off the roads. If it's essential travel, go slow. Look out for each other. This is a dangerous situation, and it will be dangerous for several more hours in terms of severe weather. Then allow us to get out and do an assessment and let our first responders, our city employees, public works do their job. But to do our job like you expect, you've got to do your part by staying at home, only essential workers traveling. We're going to bring in additional resources, county, state, and federal resources, and we're going to get there. But give us some time. We're doing everything humanly possible right now. We're fixing to leave this briefing and go back to the Nerve Center, take calls, collaborate with all of our resources, and make things get better as soon as possible. We all know we want energy. We all know we want electricity. One of our highest priorities, CenterPoint, is recruiting resources as we talk. We've been there before. We know what we're doing. Now we've got to remember, look out for lives, look out for safety, and allow our first responders and city resources to do their job. I urge everyone, do your part by staying at home, listening to the press, hugging your loved ones, and let's go forward like we know how. Thank y'all. Got to go to work.
All right, you just heard Mayor Whitmire and other city officials make it very clear that we right now is hope for the best. They're in the middle of rescuing people as we speak, putting out fires, but they're fighting to get ahead of the needs to come, and those needs include power. They're assessing areas that can be served as service centers and cooling centers, because places that we are used to sending people to for relief, the problem is, like the GRB, for example, has no power right now.
No power.
So they're in the process of assessing what areas, what churches, what businesses, whatever, can take people in as the storm passes and we start to deal with the rising heat and the number of people without power.
Yeah, Bark also has no power. The mayor's saying that most of the bayous are out of their banks, and so that could create more problems down the road.
And I want to touch on something that CenterPoint made clear to us a few weeks ago, and they said, you know, people have this idea that you can call in and be a person of status and get your power turned back on, and they said that is not true, and the mayor proves that. He said, you know, he has no power at his house as well. So the power outages are kind of like an equal opportunity employer, if you will. You know, it can hit so many people, and there's no rhyme or reason to some of it, but that's what CenterPoint Energy has to do, is figure out that rhyme and reason before we can get the power turned back on.
And last we heard, over 2 million people without power as we speak. Grace White has been monitoring that part of the storm. Grace, what are the latest numbers?
Well, Ron, Deb, this is going to be a big problem, not just for today, but for the coming days. You heard the mayor say one of the biggest concerns now are these power outages, and here's why. Look at these numbers. We've seen them steadily climb all morning. Right now, where we are, 2.1 million customers without power in our region. Those are CenterPoint customers without power. 2.1 million. Just to give you a little bit of context, during the derecho show earlier this year, we saw around 1 million people without power. So now we're twice as much. And as you just heard the mayor say, they've got big problems with the city. They've got the GRB without power. They've got shelters they're trying to open, but these multi-service centers don't have power. So this is causing a real issue, and you can bet that this is on the forefront of our city and county leaders' minds. Again, right now where we stand, 2.1 million customers. I also want to give you just a number to call. If you are seeing a downed power line in your neighborhood, you can actually report that downed power line by calling 713-207-2222. Again, 713-207-2222. We have all of this information for you on our website, khou.com. You can find everything you need on power outages, and we'll be monitoring it throughout the day. But again, one more look here for you. I'll refresh it just to see, yep, we're still there. 2.1 million people without power. Cheetah.
Yeah, great.